Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the Salescast Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we are on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
Darrell here, and I'm excited to announce that Larry's book, Selling from the Heart, has been picked up by a New York publishing house and is now available for pre-order on the barnesandnoble.com website. The movement of authenticity is gaining momentum, and it would be beneficial to have the book available not just online, but also on the shelves of Barnes & Noble stores. To make this a possibility, we would like to get pre-orders for as many copies of Selling from the Heart as possible in order to demonstrate the book's popularity. So those who pre-order the book on barnesandnoble.com are going to receive over $250 in special bonus items as a token of our gratitude for supporting this huge goal. To show your support, pre-order Selling from the Heart on barnesandnoble.com and then go to sellingfromtheheart.net/book to get access to your special bonus items. We are so grateful for your support as we continue to build this movement of authenticity in the sales profession we all love. Hello, and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
Just another day in podcast paradise. Great seeing you. I am super excited for our guest today, Darrell. We're going to have a great time.
Just wait. We got a consistency chain dynamic duo in the house. Jim Packard, George Campbell. Get ready to take some notes and take some action. We're going to have a phenomenal day to day. And this is such an exciting time. Here we are in the middle of May, Selling from the Heart. We announced it last week. The Selling from the Heart book has been picked up by a New York publisher. It is getting re-released, expanded distribution. And the great news, Larry, in addition to massive congratulations to you, is that when you pre-order the new Selling from the Heart book, we get all kinds of bonuses for you. So you want to go to sellingfromtheheart.net/book and grab those. We'll put the link in the show note. But I'm excited right now as this movement continues to grow, Larry. Authenticity, trust, all of these things are critical in the sales profession, and the momentum continues to build. So big time congratulations, Larry.
No, it's so cool. And as time goes on, we'll give you launch dates and things like that around the re-release of Selling from the Heart. I'm super excited. It just goes to show you authenticity is a lifestyle. Authenticity will help you rise above all others.
Absolutely. And speaking of authenticity, we love hearing from the community inside Selling from the Heart. Of course, we get to interact every Friday inside the Selling from the Heart Insiders group. But it's fun, all the little one-off conversations and things we get to be a part of throughout the week. Larry, I love our community, and it's so fun giving a shout out to Selling from the Heart champions all over the world.
Yeah. And this week, I want to give a special shout out to Jill Katzenberg. And Jill she loves the Selling from the Heart podcast. I've had the honor of meeting up with Jill. She's just, what can I say? She wears her heart on her sleeve. She's a total Selling from the Heart champion. Jill Katzenberg, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Jill. What just maybe the most encouraging person I've ever met. Jill, you're a rock star, and you're what the stuff you're doing, it's noticed. We just want to give a shout out to you, Jill. Thank you for being who you are. Well, as I promised, we've got great guests today. We've got a dynamic duo right back there in the green room, chomping at the bit, ready to go. Jim Packard and George Campbell, co-authors of The Consistency Chain. Let me introduce these guys. George, you're going to see George at his best on stage. 10 years of award-winning stand-up comedy led to 20 years and more of professional speaking. He has educated and entertained thousands of people at hundreds of events. He's in the Speakers Hall of Fame, and he is phenomenal. You're going to love our friend George and Jim Packard as well. If you're in the Insiders group, you got to know Jim Packard last month. Jim is the poster child for a life of consistent action. And whether it was being a top producing paper boy or turning a $500 investment into a $17 million business, Jim excels every day, all day. He's been recognized in all different kinds of ways. But guess what? There's so much. We could talk about these guys for hours. Larry, I want to bring Jim Packard and George Campbell into the Selling from the Heart studios. Gentlemen, welcome to Selling from the Heart.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What a pleasure.
So which one do you think wasn't the copier salesperson in this group?
I already know. So you can't ask me because I already know the answer.
It's good. We're going to have such a fun conversation here today. But the way we start every episode of the Selling from the Heart podcast, as you gentlemen know, is by asking the question, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart? So my question is, who wants to go first, Jim or George?
Jim can jump.
I'll go. Selling from the heart. I think when I hear that statement, it's treating your prospects like their family. That's how I would describe selling from the heart.
Yeah,
love it.
It's so good because we just actually, you know what? No one's ever brought up treat them like family. At least I can't remember. So I'm glad that we're bringing this up because this just goes back to why I believe business is personal. And it just ties back into, I could go off on a little thing. I'm just going to do it really quick. It's family ties. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind. George, you got it. Never mind.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, George, I'm curious, when you think of what it means to you to sell from the heart, what are the thoughts that come to your mind?
I mean, the first thing I think of is it's broader than that. I mean, everything, you think about the things that we do from the heart, and it's that, whether it's relationships or anything else, it's understanding it's a relationship where both of us have to win. Both of us need to win. And if we approach it from that I'm not trying to take something, I'm trying to give something and share, then, that's not a very concise answer. Can I tell you what I actually thought of when I thought of that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, please do.
Because we're here and everything. It was selling from a broken heart, because that was kind of the genesis of what we started this whole thing. Because my experience with network marketing, I saw so many people try and succeed in network marketing, and they're in just disappointing themselves and failing consistently. And I would look out at the sea of broken hearts, people who absolutely had a dream and a vision and a goal and did not get there. Mm-hmm. And that's, that was kind of the genesis of our project, is why is that, Yeah. And is it possible to help people who are struggling, who by all rights should not have the kind of struggle that they're having? So anyway, that was the tangent that I thought of when I heard selling from the heart.
Wow, that just super resonates, this concept of the broken heart side of selling. And we all know, everyone on this, everyone listening, everyone on this show talking right now and having this conversation knows that there are aspects of sales that can break your heart. And, it was interesting. We just came off a couple of weeks ago, the Selling from the Heart experience, where we were working on reigniting passion for sales, because it is easy to get that flame, squelched, damp buckets of water being thrown. Yeah. You got to protect that flame, and you lose heart really quickly. So I'm curious, this whole premise of the broken heart side of sales, you guys experienced that. And that led to a lot of what now has come into this amazing book, which, by the way, let me just hold this up. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see this beautiful book called The Consistency Chain. You want to hit pause right now and grab a copy. If you're listening in, just click the link in the show notes, because what you guys have put together is really brilliant. So let's start there with that premise of witnessing so many broken hearts, shattered dreams, frustrated people in sales. So where did that lead you guys to?
Well, I mean,
go ahead, George. I was just going to say, when George is really the one that spearheaded he looked in the industry and wondered why he could be successful in so many areas of his life, but unsuccessful in the network marketing arena. And I had always been very, very successful in business, but very unsuccessful in the physical area of my life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when George came to me and he said he's putting together a course that answers those questions, I mean, I was all ears. And I should tell you, we've written one other book called The Consistency Chain, all right, mm-hmm. which we also have for those people that aren't in network marketing. But it was just a course designed or a strategy designed around people that have a hard time following a basic plan. That's what the impetus of the book is about.
Yeah, I mean, the question I initially wanted to answer was, how is it possible for smart, capable people to completely understand a few simple things that they did them on a regular basis, consistent basis, would result in tremendous positive life changes. And yet for some reason they find themselves unable to follow through on that. And that was the genesis question that I had. And part of the reason why was because I felt like I was in that group. You know, I had experienced really nice success in my speaking career and some other things, but there were certain areas of my life that I knew I should be able to do. There's no question that I could do it. It's just that I repeatedly, time after time, failed in those arenas, and it bugged me. You know, and that was the genesis. That was the, I don't know, probably 2-3 years of reading and writing and listening to people and talking to people and just trying to figure out what exactly is this? What is this speed bump that we talked about Pareto pre-show, but what is this speed bump that 80% of people just run into just over and over and over again all their lives? And if we don't get it taken care of, if we don't find a strategy, then it's going to be, you know, it's not going to go away.
Yeah. I love this conversation, and I'll throw this back to George just to kick this off, and then Jim, I'd love to hear your comments on it. What'd you start to learn? I'd just be curious, as you started to peel this back, when it comes to consistency and so forth, what did you start learning? What were some of your aha moments? Did you go, damn, man, I wish I would have known that 10 years ago?
The biggest aha, I mean, I looked at Pareto to try and figure out what is the difference between the highly successful 20% and the struggling 80%. And when you eliminate all the things that they had in common, education, both groups have education, both groups have intelligence, commensurate skills, talents, abilities. We get the same training. Even ambition is present in both groups. And so once you eliminate all the things in common, it came down to what the difference was. Is the high-performing 20% did what needed to be done when it needed to be done on a relentlessly consistent basis. And the 80%, we knew what should be done. We just didn't do it, and we didn't do it consistently. And so then you look at all the...
Yeah, and this is such a critical thing. You know, when you think about, we know what needs to be done. And we know, I mean, we can write it down and we know. Yep. It's the doing. And Jim, I'm curious, you know, where was the breakthrough in all of this? What was the aha moment where you guys realized, okay, this is what it's going to take to break out of the 80% into the 20% that are actually achieving and getting things done consistently?
Well, I started looking at myself as a leader. And of course, I was in network marketing, and you look at all the people that were successful going across the stage and talking, and they're all part of the 20%. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that they didn't have a big enough why, they didn't have a big enough goal, they didn't, you know, I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves, and that wasn't the truth whatsoever. And when I started treating everybody like they were an 80%er, that's when, you know, our sales took off. And I took it for granted that everybody was going to be like me, and that wasn't going to be the case.
Love it. Love it. So I just want to keep this thread going. George, the 80%ers, you guys crack the code on what it takes for the 80%ers to be consistent. And once again, I want everybody listening in to grab a copy of The Consistency Chain. We'll put the link in the show notes. You're going to really love this book because I think this is really profound. To me, I looked at, just like Jim was saying if you're in the crowd, you're the 80%, the people that aren't walking across the stage to get the trophy. My thing is, well, you just need to watch those people and work harder and do that, right?
Become more like me.
Be like me, right? Exactly. But you guys found that just isn't the solution to the problem. There's a much smarter way to think about it. I'd love if you could unpack that for us, but we're going to unpack that right after in just a moment, because what we do want to do is we do want to give a shout out to not only our sponsor for this show. We want to give a shout out to our friend Angela Moore. As everyone knows, every week in the Selling from the Heart podcast, we feature one of our champions out there, someone in the audience that shares what it means to them to sell from the heart. So Angela is going to share her answer. And by the way, if you want to send in a video, just text the word video to 21,000. That's video to 21,000. We'd love to feature you on an upcoming episode answering the question, what does it mean to sell from the heart? So let's hear from our sponsors. We'll hear from Angela. And then when we come back, George, I want to hear about what the 80% can be doing to get some consistency.
I'm thrilled to introduce to you a revolutionary tool that will change the way you understand yourself and others. Our partners at the Y Institute have created the Y.OS Discovery Platform, a powerful tool that in just 10 minutes can help you uncover your core motivations, how you bring them to life, and what others can expect from you. This is more than just a self-awareness tool. It's a game changer for coaches and those who want to help their clients reach their full potential. If you're a coach or a sales leader, go to yinstitute.com and look for the Y certification. We'll put the link in the show notes. When you reach out to the Y Institute, let them know you heard about it on Selling from the Heart, and you'll be on your way to helping your people discover what drives them. Don't just take our word for it. Go to yinstitute.com and see the powerful impact the Y.OS discovery can have on your life.
Hello, my name is Angela Moore. I am the owner of King's House of Ladies and Men of Valor. We're a finishing school located in Raleigh, North Carolina, serving the surrounding areas. I am a certified etiquette expert, and I've enjoyed 27 years of training, mentoring, and developing leaders. I was asked the question, what does it mean to sell from the heart? Well, there's three things that came to mind. Number one was just being my authentic self. I genuinely love people. I'm a people person, and I love helping people. The second thing that came to mind was just being passionate about building relationships. Relationships are very important to me. My clients trust me, and I enjoy making sure that I align with the visions of my clients. And I would say the third thing is building community together. I think it's important that we soar together and we stay together. So selling from the heart to me means being authentic and passionate about who I am and who I represent. Thank you.
I love that, Angela. We love you. You're such a class act. We just had such a great time hanging out with Angela at this Selling from the Heart experience. I think what she says is so spot on. And Angela, we love you. And by the way, if you want to send a video to us, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart? Just text the word video to 21,000. So we're picking back up on this conversation, George. You guys figured rather than just telling the 80%, hey, you need to buck up, you need to be like those 20%ers, that there was actually a much smarter way to solve this problem that actually gets results and doesn't end in broken hearts and frustration.
So let me try and pack this as tight as I can. we came across a 50-year longitudinal study that tracked basically the high-performing 20 and the lesser-performing 80%. And it resulted in an fMRI, a functional MRI exam that showed these two different groups literally made their decisions in two different parts of the brain. The 20% tended to make decisions in the prefrontal cortex, which is the executive function part in the brain that can look at an action in the moment and project what the long-term implication is going to be. 80% of us, people like me, tend to make decisions in the ventral striatum, which is a much more primal part of the brain that makes decisions based on, is it easy? Is it safe? Is it pleasurable? This is where consistency goes to die, because consistency is none of those three things. And so this is a much deeper issue than we've been dealing with. It's like doing a sales presentation. You think, okay, I'm going to do something, and you're trying to sell it to your brain, and you're like, okay, I'm going to emphasize A, B, and C. And then you show up that day, and the person who's making the decision is not interested in A, B, C at all. They're interested in X, Y, Z. And so we have been trying to sell an idea to the 80% have been trying to sell an idea to ourselves in a way that's not effective. And so what consistency chain does, it says, listen, instead of trying to fight our essential nature on this, instead of trying to brute force our way through, instead, what if we just leaned into the way we make a decision? So we're going to take the task, we're going to take the long range goal that we have, and we're going to set a direction, and then we're going to make it easy. We're going to make it safe. We're going to make it pleasurable. And we're only going to do it for today, just today, not tomorrow, not next week, just today, because that's easy. I can do anything for a day, and so you break it down into this, and then we reward ourselves. This consistency chain has got a built-in graphic reward system that you see because the outside metrics are not going to affirm your work yet. That takes time. But so what we need to do is we need to win today. And we're the 80% are basically driven by instant gratification. Cool. Let's take that. Let's use that and make that feel good. So we develop a winning streak of just today. And I'll be honest with you, when I first started this, I thought it was ridiculous. And I started trying it, and I did something that I'd never been consistent with, which was working out. And I put together a string of 531 straight workout days. And if you knew me, that's ridiculous. And the only reason why I was able to do that is because I didn't have a goal of working out for a year and a half. No, I had a goal of working out today. Today. And instead of, I'm going to weigh 175 pounds and do this and that. No. I said, I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be fitter. I'm going to be healthier. And when I came back from the gym every day, I could look in the mirror with complete honesty and integrity and look at myself and say, dude, you're fitter. You're stronger. You're healthier. I was hitting my goal every single day, and it felt good. I wasn't waiting for something off in the distance to happen before I could feel good about myself. No, every single day I felt great. And that's the reason why I kept showing up the next day.
Oh, this is great stuff. And speaking about showing up every day, and I'll throw this back to either you, George, or Jim, is speak to the sales leaders that are out there that are watching this right now that are going, man, I got the 80%ers, I got the 20%ers. Just walk them through what are 3 quick things that a sales leader can do to make things simple, that can bring some consistency in, that they can capture some small wins to get the momentum to start seeing the consistency. Just throw out a couple quick 3 things.
Well, one would certainly be you're just giving them a different way to measure success. So you start out with, let's say you want to work out. It might be just to get up in the morning and put your sneakers on. So ridiculous that you can't say no to it. Right? That's the purpose of it. Just give them a task so small, so ridiculous that they can't say no to it. You then have to have some type of an accountability system where, whether it be an app or putting in an X on a calendar or something, some way to show accountability on a daily basis as well.
I would have two things. The first thing I would tell leaders, and it's critical, is understanding the people that are the 80%, they're not you. They're literally not you. Your path was what it was, and that's great, and that's awesome. And the tendency is, because it worked for me, then this is what you need to do. But if they're not thinking in the same part of the brain that you made your decisions, that is going to be a strategy that's not going to ever catch. And we know it doesn't catch because the numbers don't change. So number one, they're not you. They are going to need a little bit different path. And the other thing is, what we're trying to inculcate in people is their own credit, their own accountability system to an extent. And so while you can give this idea to somebody, this strategy, rather than manage it, don't manage, model. Pick an area of your life that maybe you've had some resistance in, figure out what you can do on a daily basis that you're going to get past that, and model that behavior.
Yeah.
And it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to give you tremendous personal, you're going to feel great personally because, oh my God, this is a part of my life that I maybe have never gotten control of. The other thing is it's going to give you empathy because now you're going to better understand the person who's in the same struggle, just in a different area of their life.
I love it.
I'm just looking at this, and it's like I'm just having flashbacks. And you know what I loved? Jim recently came in the Selling from the Heart Insiders group, and he talked about the consistent power of just doing one thing. And so, do you remember that, Jim?
Yeah.
And then, so what I would throw back to sales leaders and even sales people that are watching is just, what would it mean just to meet one more new person every single day? You can meet somebody new every single day.
Sure.
It's not that hard.
Right.
But it's just, right. Instead of saying, I got to meet 10 new people every single day, how about just start with one? And that's the message that I love about the consistency chain. It's not these big grandiose things. It's simple, little achievable things that you just multiply over time.
Yeah, it can always scale up. It can always expand. You can always refine, but just start and take action on a daily basis because you can't. It's very difficult to turn a car that's not moving. But once a car is going, then it's just a one finger on the wheel, and you can steer it in another direction.
I love it. This is super, super practical. And to me, the mindset, and in sales, right, we all have a monthly quota. We have a quarterly quota. We have an annual quota. You start looking at the annual quota and you go, this is, it's mind blowing. But if you take that down, and even move like from monthly to say, what am I going to do today? Like, what's this going to be today? And you stack good days on top of each other, and you will have a good month, and you will have a good quarter and a good year. So as we wrap this up, just in the final part of this, like, what are some practical action items other than going to grab a copy of the consistency chain, which everyone wants to do? What are some practical action items you can do to get started? I'm thinking in particular, how do you reward yourself for all of this? Like, what's that pleasure trigger that makes it pleasurable to do these things that in our mind, let's all be honest, this isn't fun at all. This kind of sucks. So how do you play the game there?
Well, I mean, we talk about easy, safe, and pleasurable, and it's easy to make something easy by breaking it down to a smaller component. Safe is almost, depending upon how you judge what outcome you're looking for, safe is pretty easy. Pleasurable comes almost always having done it. It's like, I don't like to write, but I love to have written. And so the classic way that we have is just a calendar on the wall. And every day we're making another X on the calendar, although we don't think of it as X on the calendar. We think it as links of a chain. And every single day we're putting another link on. And the goal is so simple. Is don't break the chain. Don't break. I can take all the stuff that I want to do and I can boil it down into this one action. And then when I put that mark on the calendar that day, that's my satisfaction. I am graphically seeing my success in front of me.
That's your reward, Jim. That's your reward.
That's my reward.
Yep.
I love it. Wow. What an incredibly powerful, I would say conversation, but just whole paradigm here. This is fantastic. Guys, how can our listeners get more George Campbell, Jim Packard, and consistency chain in their lives? Because I know we all need more of this.
We're consistencychain.com. And if you're in network marketing, there's a tab there for our very focused network marketing site. And feel free to contact us. Jim loves to talk to people. Me, not so much.
Only anytime. Yeah.
That's great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing this time with us today. But also just thank you for pursuing this and cracking the code and figuring all of this out. I've already started implementing some of this, and it is extremely powerful. Personally, I'm grateful. I'm looking forward to diving in deeper. But all of it, guys, you are both true Selling from the Heart champions. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Larry,
Darrell.
Powerful.
It is. And those who know me really well, I'm not an overly complicated guy. I'm a simple kind of guy. But what I learned a long time ago is the power of discipline and the power of consistency. And it's why I wake up at the same time every single morning. It's why I go to bed at the same time every single night. It's consistency does wonderful things. And when you break these down into small, little doable items, that's what moves the needle. But it's hard to be consistent when we have these monumental activities that we must hit on a daily basis. We try to do them for a couple of days and we bust the chain. That's what I love about this.
It's incredibly powerful. And I challenge everybody, grab the consistency chain, start your own consistency chain. And we're already talking about it in the Insiders group at Selling from the Heart. So this is going to be powerful. And by the way, if you're not in the Insiders group yet, you want to come hang out. I guarantee you want to come hang out with this group of like-hearted sales professionals and sales leaders. Just go to sellingfromtheheart.net/insiders to learn more and get a free pass to join us for an upcoming session. And you can also see all the incredible things that are going on in that group. Larry, once again, super excited about the upcoming relaunch of Selling from the Heart. And once again, go to sellingfromtheheart.net/book. We're going to be adding all kinds of bonus items for folks that will pre-order Selling from the Heart, the updated and exciting new re-release of the book. And so go to sellingfromtheheart.net/book to learn more. Just super fired up, Larry. We've got a chain of incredible, we got a consistent chain of incredible guests coming up. How about that one?
Hey, that was good. I'm impressed.
You definitely want to like or subscribe. And thank you to everybody who's sharing the podcast and leaving a review. Till next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust, build a consistency chain. And most of all,
you got to sell from the heart. You got to do it.